Where some speakers may push geographical boundaries, there are others which explore and make us more aware of social boundaries. Our next speaker, Armen, has had a long journey not only to be here and to speak about it, but has to fight through many social boundaries. Today, he's speaking about some of the social boundaries he had to push and what it's like to fight for the LGBTQ community as a Syrian refugee. Please welcome to the stage, Armen.
See, growing up is not always easy. Not all of us has an easy childhood. Some of us were born with illnesses, difficulties. Some of us has to go through their parents' divorce. Some of us are lonely, and some of us is just an odd kid. But then we grow up, and then you become a teenager. Then there are a lot of questions in your head. You don't get answers. You're surrounded with people, yet you still feel lonely. But you go on. Some of us even party and don't care about anything. And they want to cling on that partying part, and they don't want to grow. But of course, you do grow, and then you become an adult. Life gives you a lot of responsibilities. You have to work more. You have to deliver more. You have to have a family. Have you ever wondered what makes us to go forward? Now, that is the power that we all have within us. It's the power of persistence. My name is Armen Melkonian. I'm 30 years old. And today, I'm going to share my part of power of persistence. See, growing up in an Armenian Orthodox Christian family, in an Islamic country, wasn't that easy. My grandparents, they were 6 when they fled to Syria. They were refugees. And they had to give something back to the host country. But that kindness of giving back from my grandparents' generation to my generation has become the perfectionism. Everything had to be perfect. At school, I only had to get 10s, straight 10s. At work, you had to have the better career, the best career. You have to have a great reputation, perfect family. But hey, I'm not perfect. I got 6, 7s, 8s, and I never got compliments for that. But I just went on. And I had my 2 diplomas from Syria, one in interior design and the other in hotel management. And at that point, I was very proud of myself, no matter what my parents thought about me. See, growing up in Syria and having that perfectionism wasn't my only problem. It was also homosexuality. From a very young age, I felt like I'm different from my friends. There's really something different in me. But I didn't know what. They were all attracted to girls. Just have fun, have a girlfriend. I didn't have that feeling. I didn't have that need. It was always fun to be with girls, but not in that way. So at some point, I felt like I am attracted actually to boys. But then again, nobody in my family, the first circle, the second circle, the extended family, or friends, were openly gay. So, who do I look up to? Who do I ask questions? So just like I would expect from someone else in my situation to do, I started to live in denial. I said, I am wrong. What I'm doing is not correct. It's not what they teach me in the church. And definitely, it's not allowed. But with doing this, I was giving a great voice to my inner saboteur in my head. And at some point, I felt very stuck. You don't know what to do. Well, I turned to a friend of mine, Google. I just wanted to know how other people live in other countries, happily gay. I mean, if do they so. So I went and I Googled. And I found out there are like people having families, kids and dogs. It was so beautiful to see that. But was I able to do that in Syria? Well, I did. I came out of the closet in a country where it is illegal to be gay. I tried to convince everyone around me that homosexuality is not a choice. It is just who you are. It wasn't that easy. First, I came out to my family because I felt that's the first safe space to do so. Guess what? It wasn't. My father was very disappointed in me. My mom was very angry because she dedicated me to the church all the time. And then eventually I let her down. My sisters, on the other hand, they thought it's just an illness, it will go away. But it wasn't. And I continued. I wanted to be myself without having a double life, just like others did. But that didn't get me so far, because I lost most of my friends. They didn't want to be associated with me anymore. And then also, imagine, my gay friends, because they didn't want to be exposed. And then what do? You're alone, no family, no friends, no gay friends. Although a weight was away off my shoulders, but I was also lonely. And that was the moment that I was thinking about, maybe I have to do something with my life. Maybe I have to go somewhere where I can be myself, just like the people I saw on Google. But once what I was planning that, my father got sick. And he had a breast cancer, which is a very rare condition for men. So we had to go from Aleppo to Damascus for that. But why all these things are happening? Also, of course, the war happened. As everyone knows, Syria had suffered from a civil war. For us, it was very shocking. At some point, we didn't know what was happening. All the countries were involved, but we only saw our beautiful country was just being ruined. Buildings demolished, people on the street, dead people on the street, body parts everywhere, blood, running away from bullets. And honestly, I'm not saying any action movie scene here. This was all real. Was I ready for that? Was any of us ready for that? No. But we went on. I still remember the last day that I worked in the hotel. I took some photos as well, of course. I had to run away from the bullets and I had to crawl down, and I can hear everything above my head. And that was a moment I could never forget. The hotel that was once very beautiful and was once very welcoming for me was demolished. It was a very beautiful place where I also felt home, away from my family. But it was gone. It was taken away from me. So, lost my family, somehow, my friends, my gay friends, and my work. And then I was thinking to go away when my father got sick indeed. So that was the moment where I reminded myself, hey, don't be weak. You have that power. So I started to plan again. Since we were moving from Aleppo to the south of Syria, Damascus, the capital city, I thought, wait a second, that's also close to Lebanon, which is the neighboring country. And I once heard that homosexuality there is okay. That is the oasis of the gays in the Middle East. Let me just go there. So I packed everything that I had and put them in big 2 suitcases, my childhood toys, photos, everything that reminded me back home. I put them in these suitcases and I took them with me to Damascus. And that was the moment to confront my family. Of course, after 4 months, my father got well, and it was time. And I didn't hesitate. I said, I think this is the time for you to go back to Aleppo and for me to go forward. The answer was harsh. My father said, you could have gone earlier. I didn't need your help anyway. But I was the only son, and I really needed to stay with him, make sure that he's fine. And my mother, on the other hand, she said, you can go and find your life, but I'm happy that you're gone, since there will be less gossip about us. I had very mixed feeling about that, because I'm sure she wanted the best for me. At that time, actually, I was kind of selfish. I wanted the unconditional love from my parents. But now, honestly, thinking about that moment, I kind of relate. I kind of understand that was what they used to. They didn't see anything else. They didn't know any better. Of course, their reaction was logical. Anyway, with that pain in my heart, I went to Lebanon. Now, one of my friends who worked with me in the hotel was living in Lebanon already for a while. And he said, I can welcome you in my apartment for a while. That apartment was very small. It turned out to be a storage room. But because there were no other places for Syrians in Lebanon to stay, we were staying in small places like that, with 2-3 people. No windows, only door. We eat there, sleep there, do our laundry there, cook there. It's very difficult circumstances. But then I thought, this will all just pass. The second week when I was in Lebanon, there was a gay bar attacked by the government. They arrested a lot of people and they interrogated them to find out any homosexual act. And I was like, okay, is this the welcoming? I thought I was going to be fine here. But then I asked for myself, now what? Now what do I do? And then I came across to a friend of mine. He said, hey, have you heard about the United Nations resettlement program? Like, I know about UN. I registered myself for safety, but not actually for the resettlement program. And then I went and I talked to these people. I shared my entire story, honestly, with all the truth. But they said, we don't promise you anything. We are going to open for you a file, and then you will hear from us. And that took 1.5 years. With 5 interviews, all interview similar to the other one. It's just watching 4 or 5 people sitting in front of you. You're telling your story to them. They're asking specific questions. One of them is a lie detector. The other one is a psychologist. The other one is a doctor. And they're all looking at you with their eyes, waiting for some mistake or something. But I was very an open book. So I told everything honestly, indeed. Now, after 1.5 years, I got the best phone call in my life ever. It was, congratulations, the Netherlands has chosen you to go there. And I hung up and I was thrilled, very happy. Not only after 2 minutes I realized, hey, wait a second, where is the Netherlands? So, I turned to my best friend, Google, and I wanted to find out more about the Netherlands. What do these people eat? And I see croquette. Yeah, that doesn't look very appetizing. I hope it's tasty. And then, what do they listen? André Hazes, for them Dutch people is very familiar. But for me, it was to get used to it. And then, what do they speak? Dutch. Which other countries do speak this language? Well, Nowhere. And I wanted to know where this country is located, actually. And I found out it is 7 meters below sea level, and I can't even swim. So I was thinking, where am I going? All that didn't matter. I knew that I'm going to a country where I have my human rights, basic rights. And that made me, of course, very happy. We receive a culture orientation lessons in Lebanon, of course, before we come here, to get to know a little bit about the culture. But that's not a lot. And then I got my plane ticket, I arrived to the Netherlands, and I receive a social housing for myself. A nice apartment. But this time, only for myself. I didn't have to share it with anyone. So, you will probably say now, okay, he got what he wanted. He was free, in a beautiful country. Yes, I was. But everything in the Netherlands was different from what I was used to. The culture, the language, the food, people, and also the weather. I arrived in December and it was very dark. I thought, yeah, it's a couple of days, the sun will rise. Nope. It was constantly like that for 2 months. But besides that, I came to an apartment by myself and I was alone and I didn't know anyone in the Netherlands. And in the wintertime, that can be really tough. Honestly, that was also one of my difficult moments in the Netherlands the first 4 months. But then, I said to myself, hey, think about your power. So I wanted to learn the language. And I went to the university instead of going to any college. I went to the university to learn the best language ever. So I followed an intensive course, and within 9 months I got the B2 level of the European level language. Very proud of myself, I was. And then I had this ambition to work in a managerial level in hospitality. So I joined also a beautiful hotel school. And I'm almost graduating. And then I decided it is actually also time to give something back to the community who got me here. I started to work voluntarily for the United Nations and the Dutch Refugee Council. I work also in one of the best hotels in Amsterdam, beautiful, for my internship. And then I also wanted to bring something back from my passion, because I always loved music and I always liked theater. So I worked with a small theater group, and then we traveled with a beautiful play in the cities of the Netherlands. And also, I joined the Amsterdam Game and Scorers. And immediately I met 60 friends, wonderful men. They all sing together beautifully. It was very beautiful for me to have that belonging feeling again with these people. So, what I want to say from all this, think about a moment you felt very down about your current situation, the pandemic. I mean, I am graduating and I want to build up my career, but then we were confronted with the pandemic. Who wants to start their career in the pandemic? But of course, I'm using my power. So take that moment and think about your problems at the moment. And have hope. Be grateful for what you already have now. And visualize yourself in the future without all these problems. Because all of us have the power of persistence in us. But it's about time to use it. Thank you.